In the dead of night, a group of animal rights activists break into a high-security lab in the UK. Their mission? Free the chimpanzees used for experiments. But they make one fatal mistake: they ignore a frantic warning from a scientist. These chimps aren't just test subjects, they're carriers of something horrifying. The rage virus. As soon as the cages open, the creatures attack. The activists are bitten, and within seconds, the infection takes hold. It spreads instantly, turning people into bloodthirsty maniacs with no trace of humanity left. Cut to 28 days later. A man named Jim wakes up from a coma in a deserted hospital. Confused and alone, he wanders through a city that's completely collapsed. Streets are empty, buildings are destroyed, and not a soul is in sight. That is, until he walks into a church and realizes some people are still here. But they're not people anymore. They're infected. Jim barely escapes with his life, rescued at the last second by two survivors, Selena and Mark. They drag him to safety underground, using fire and explosions to slow the infected chasing them. Once they regroup, Selena explains the truth: while Jim was unconscious, the virus tore through the country. Civilization fell in days. Now, almost everyone's either dead or turned. Still in shock, Jim begs to visit his parents' house. What he finds there is devastating: they've taken their own lives to escape the nightmare. That same night, more infected attack. Mark is wounded, and Selena doesn't hesitate, she kills him instantly, before the virus can take over. To Jim, it's brutal. But Selena is clear: one drop of blood is all it takes. And if it happens to Jim, she won't hesitate to do the same to him. The next day, while navigating through the wreckage of London, they spot flashing Christmas lights in a nearby apartment building. Inside, they meet Frank and his daughter Hannah, survivors who've barricaded themselves in. Supplies are running low, especially water. But Frank has heard a strange military broadcast: soldiers up north claim they have a solution. It's a risky trip, but with no other option, they all pile into Frank's cab and head toward Manchester. Along the way, they fight off infected in a collapsed tunnel, raid an empty supermarket for supplies, and even begin to bond. Jim starts to change, he's not the same helpless courier he once was. But the nightmare isn't over. Eventually, they reach the military blockade, only to find it abandoned. Then, in a freak accident, Frank is infected, blood drips from a corpse above and lands in his eye. He turns in seconds. The soldiers arrive just in time to kill him, but what they offer next isn't salvation, it's something far worse. The group is taken to a fortified mansion, led by Major Henry West. His solution to the infection? Wait for the infected to starve, and repopulate by forcing women into sexual slavery. Horrified, Jim tries to escape with Selena and Hannah. He's caught, along with a soldier named Farrell, who also opposes the Major. While locked up, Farrell shares a theory: maybe the infection never left Britain. Maybe the rest of the world is fine, and just quarantined the island. The next morning, Jim is dragged into the woods to be executed. But he escapes, faking his death by hiding among corpses. As he watches a jet streak across the sky, it hits him: the outside world is still out there. And they're watching. Jim returns to the mansion, unleashing Mailer, an infected soldier the Major kept chained up for study. The chaos gives him time to move through the compound, picking off soldiers one by one. He bursts in, drenched in blood, and kills the last soldier, threatening Selena. She hesitates, thinking he might be infected. But when he speaks, she realizes he's still human. They kiss, just as Hannah appears, helping them flee in Frank's cab. But the nightmare isn't over. West ambushes them, shooting Jim. Hannah floors the gas, rams West into the hands of the infected, and escapes with Selena and a bleeding Jim. They hide out in a quiet cottage. Jim survives. 28 days later, he wakes up again, this time to peace. Outside, the three of them lay out a massive banner spelling hello as a fighter jet passes overhead. Selena looks to the sky and asks, "Do you think he saw us this time?" The nightmare might finally be ending.